Welcome to today's Northern Ag TV. Well, as the year comes to a close today, it's a great opportunity to look back and recap what we've seen in 2025. A few weeks back, we were joined in studio by Jenna Stanton, the Director of Policy and Public Affairs for the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, and we talked what the cattle industry has seen from wins to challenges in 2025. Stay tuned to hear more of our conversation after a quick word from today's TV sponsor, BNSF Railway.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Jenna Stanton is the Director of Policy and Public Affairs for the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, and she sure had a busy year in Washington, D.C. Jenna shared a recap of what all the cattle industry has seen from policy to the market standpoint in 2025.
So I think when we take a look at 2025, we'd be remiss to not mention, the government shutdown. And I can tell you, Capitol Hill was busy. Government was shut down, but work was being done. And we had some really great conversations with our legislative folks. Staff was there, the Senate was in. So we were having those conversations. Cattle still needed to be fed, business still needed to be done on Capitol Hill. So that was really impactful for us to see. But I think as we kind of close out 2025, what we saw is an industry that when the government was shut down or when things were maybe a little bit quieter coming from the Secretary's office, you saw an industry that never let off.
From trades and tariffs to New World screwworm, 2025 brought many challenges to the ag and cattle industry. One recent conversation that took place in Washington, D.C. was the reviewing process of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. President of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, Justin Tupper, joined the U.S. trade representative in those conversations, and Jenna shared a little recap of some of the key focal points that came from those discussions.
Our testimony was largely focused on updating those rules of origin that fall within USMCA to make sure that we are protecting American ranchers and the really superior product that they provide. Mexico, Canada have both been good trading partners by and large when we take a look at the cattle side of things. And on the beef side of things, we maybe see things a little bit differently, but it's how we can make these trade agreements work.
Now, trade discussions are very likely to be a continued focal point as we enter 2026. But Jenna also shared that there is a lot of optimism and hopefully some stability that will continue and carry over from the market standpoint in the new year.
I think from a market standpoint, first of all, the president's heard from us and the other groups as well. It can't have as many limit down days as we did in the middle of the fall run. That wasn't productive. So I think that feedback it's not falling on deaf ears, and they understand that we need stability. And so that's what I'm looking forward to going into 2026 is how can we work with our external partners to make sure that we're not increasing that volatility in the markets if we don't have to, and we don't. Markets are a difficult concept to understand, but just knowing that anytime you talk on media about what the markets might or might not do or an external factor that might affect trade, just knowing that's going to come up and keeping that just top of mind.
The U.S. Cattlemen's Association will kick off 2026 with their annual convention January 21st and 22nd in Kansas. You can find details and registration at uscattlemen.org. You can also listen to our full podcast conversation with Jenna Stanton on our website, northernag.net. I'm Colton Young, Northern Ag Network.